Mike, I'm here.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Hey,
Which son was it?
my oldest,
What's his name?
Toby.
Toby, your dad's here. I appreciate it. The screen hadn't showed up yet.
That screen still hasn't showed up.
It still hadn't showed up.
Good line, wasn't it?
Yes, it was great. It was great.
This is one of those games where you guys, on occasion, might stumble in the past, but with so few games left and sort of was laying out in front of you, how much is that a topic of discussion with your group? Just how you have to take each game individually and focus on it?
No, 100%. Our mindset is focused on trying to take care of the little details that we need to focus on in order to win any ball game. And for us, this game, we're not going into this game thinking any different than any other game. We have to play up to our identity, and which is we got to play fast. We got to play physical on both sides of the ball, and we got to play together. And when we approach games with this mindset, which we have, the last handful of games, we feel really, really good about our chances. So locking into the small details while focusing on our identity is big for us every time we step on the floor, no matter who our opponent is. But it's the Grizzlies tonight, so we got to get it done tonight.
Mike, speaking of that and topic of conversations, three-way tie essentially for 6, 7, and 8 right now in the West. You guys are one of the groups or teams in that group. How much is that a topic of conversation? How much do you pay attention to that? And kind of building off that, the playoffs begin almost before the playoffs in a way. How much does this race help build towards where you guys want to be?
No, it helps a lot because the sense of urgency, intensity level of each game down the stretch. You can see it's on a different level. Anybody can see and or feel that, sense it, however you want to call it. And so, in regard to that helps. We obviously pay attention to it. We talk to our guys about it. We actually have, we didn't have it last year, but we have a standings board, Eastern Conference, Western Conference, and we update it daily, in the training room / locker room area. And so our guys, even though we bring it up to our guys and we talk to our guys about it, I'm sure they track it on their own because we have competitive guys in that locker room.
Memphis had a ton of injuries this year, but they're still 11th in defensive rating. I'm curious if you watched them on tape. What jumps out to you about what they've been able to do even shorthanded this year?
They're just aggressive, with the way they approach the game defensively. Not only that, they have some long, athletic guys, starting with JJ, who's obviously been a defensive player of the year, a high-level defender in the past, and he still is. He's active protecting that paint, and when you have a guy that's as long and athletic as he is, as well as other guys that are long, Adonis 6'10", Gigi Jackson 6'9", and so their front line is big, and Adonis is not necessarily the athlete that Jackson is, but he's still long, and when you have that, and you have a coach in Taylor Jenkins that knows what he's doing, and you've been at it for a little bit, there's already that identity there that you just kind of latch on to and keep getting after her. And so a lot of respect for the job he's done and the job that the team has done, even though they have guys out.
Mike, you mentioned physicality a minute ago on both sides of the ball. What's your assessment of how that has grown over the course of the year? Do you feel like you guys have developed more of a sense of physicality?
100%. I really do. I think, and just a prime example, and I've said this before, is Malik Monk. Last year I couldn't get him to take a charge, and he very seldom went vertical. And I mean, he's going to stick his nose in there and get hit. And I still think he still has upside because he's got a great feel for the game, very smart young man, and he knows with his quickness and athleticism, he can still do his work early enough to where he can even increase the number of charges and or verticalities that he has gotten so far. So our entire team has headed that way. We're more physical on the ball, more physical off the ball. Our rebounding has gone to another level, even on the offensive glass in terms of physicality. So we've seen it, we've felt it, and the trajectory in that department is heading in the right direction with still a lot of room to grow.
Coach Brown, there's been a lot said the other night about, Keon got caught looking away, and when Jalen Brunson went in and scored, and some people, assessed as was a miscommunication. And I know you talk about communication on the floor a lot. How do you feel about your team communication on the court right now at this stage of the season?
What was it? Miscommunication by our guys, because if you think back at the play, Keon was isolated out 3 to 5 feet outside the 3-point line by himself, and nobody was coming up into a ball screen. It's just a matter of Keon being a young guy, not being in that situation, and Jalen, even though he's not old, but he's played a lot of minutes and been in a lot of big situations, him kind of just, tricking Keon into thinking that a screen was coming. He's sitting there talking, hey, come on, get him, right side, whatever. And Keon doesn't hear anything from our guys because there's nothing to really communicate because our guys are standing with their own. Some of them may say, hey, on your own or whatever, but Keon, just as a young guy, because he's inexperienced in that situation, kind of looked back and Jalen took advantage. As soon as you look back, that's when great guards take advantage of you, and that's what happened there. So it's just a matter of Keon being in his first year of getting quality minutes with an NBA team, and Jalen being through a lot of different situations and using a little veteran move on Keon in that particular situation. So the more Keon plays, the more he goes through situations like that, the better he'll become, because he knows, and watching the film, he even said it, if you're guarding the ball, you're supposed to keep him to his weak hand, and you wait on the screen to come, and he'll hear from one of his teammates a command that we use that he knows he didn't hear when he was guarding in that situation. So just a learning, growing experience.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you all.
Thanks, Coach.